As a child, Lyhris was raised on a small farm by his middle-class parents. His father's name was Handon, and his mother's name was Gaylora. One night, Lyhris woke up to a loud crash in the house, only to find when he'd cracked his door open, there were two pale men crouched over his parents, doing what looked to be biting them. Lyhris didn't understand what was happening, but knew if he was to survive, he needed to run. So he crawled out of his bedroom window and ran as fast as he could away from the farm he had always called home. Lyhris ran until he got to the house of his strange hermit uncle, who his parents never let him see but never told him why. After Lyhris told his uncle what had happened, his uncle gave him a book, and on the cover, Lyhris made out the word vampire. After further explanation, Lyhris's uncle told him that his parents were killed by vampires, and what he saw was them feeding on their blood. What Lyhris's uncle told him next, he could have never seen coming. His uncle explained that he was part of an elite group of hunters known as witch hunters or Dawn Guard, and that they hunted anything from witches to vampires to necromancers and anything in between. He explained that this was why his parents never wanted Lyhris around him, because they were scared he might get hurt or worse. Lyhris demanded that his uncle teach him everything he knew about hunting these creatures and becoming a witch hunter. So, his uncle was the one who would introduce him to books, hunting, expand his magical abilities, and set his life on a far different course than what he and everyone else would have ever expected. Years after that terrible night burned into Lyhris's memory, he knew he was ready to set off on his own adventure. While hunting a large group of vampires, Lyhris found them near an Imperial camp on the border of Cyrodiil and SKYRIM. When he went to go clear out the nest, he was shocked to find it empty. He didn't understand until he heard screams off in the distance and knew exactly where they were. Lyhris ran as fast as he could towards the Imperial camp, only to find he was too late. As he walked past the dead, blood-drenched Imperial soldiers, whose uniforms gleamed bright red in the torchlight, he couldn't help but feel guilty for their deaths. If he was a better hunter, or gotten to the nest faster, he could have stopped this from happening. Suddenly, Lyhris heard a branch snap behind him and turned as fast as he could, only to be met with a cold hand around his neck and red, glowing eyes staring directly into his. The next thing Lyhris knows, the camp is being swarmed by Imperial soldiers, and he's thrown to the ground and hits a rock, being knocked out instantly.